Welcome everyone to Cal Poly's open house. My name is Samantha Martin and I use she, her pronouns. I am a Recreation, Parks, and Tourism Administration major and I am from San Luis Obispo, California. Congratulations on being conditionally accepted to Cal Poly, and for all you supporters out there, I bet you are all very proud. I'm honored to be here today welcoming all of you to open house and I hope you enjoy every minute of it. Our first speaker is President Armstrong. He will be speaking to you today about Cal Poly's Learn by Doing philosophy, as well as radiate optimism about the future of all of your futures, as well as the Cal Poly community future.
Good afternoon and welcome to Cal Poly. I love open house. It's everything that makes Cal Poly unique and amazing compressed into an intense few days. 22,000 students and 10,000 animals on almost 10,000 acres. It's also a turning point in the lives of many of you who are in the final weeks of deciding which college to attend in the fall and what direction your life will take. To be candid, I would much prefer to be speaking with you in person rather than virtually, and I'm sure that you'd rather be here in San Luis Obispo, experiencing the campus and the community firsthand and having a good time. But please rest assured that we will be in person this fall. I am also so Cal Poly proud of our staff and students who have created this amazing virtual open house and virtual tours for you. So congratulations on being accepted to Cal Poly. This is an amazing feat as we are one of the top universities in the United States. Parents and supporters, congratulations to you as well. Learn by doing, focus on student success, excellence, diversity and inclusion, and comprehensive polytechnic all make Cal Poly what it is. Music, theater and arts, engineering, and all the majors are part of being a comprehensive polytechnic university. Cal Poly's motto and bread and butter is learn by doing. And the coronavirus situation has made that motto more real and more present than ever. We've all had to relearn how to do our jobs and our schooling, and we've learned it by doing it. I'm also very proud of Cal Poly for sticking by our principles during this difficult period. We make decisions based on facts and evidence. We put the safety of our Mustang and San Luis Obispo communities first. We're very proud of being able to operate campus housing this past year at roughly 50% capacity and of safely offering 10% of our classes or more face-to-face. We're also proud of having developed a cutting-edge saliva-based coronavirus test that is what we are currently using to test students, faculty, and staff. Assuming the current positive trends continue, we expect to be operating close to normal in the fall. Housing will be at normal capacity and the vast majority of classes will be taught face-to-face, learn by doing in action. Students should be able to take advantage of Cal Poly's location in beautiful San Luis Obispo, from the hiking trails to the coast to surfing. At this time, we're expecting also to hold in-person orientation in August. This past year has been very stressful for everyone around the world. I'd like to help reduce your stress level a little bit. There are many excellent colleges and universities up and down California and across the country where you will get an excellent education. If your application was strong enough to get into Cal Poly, I'm sure you got offers from many other great universities, and any one of them would be a good choice. Of course, I think your best choice is Cal Poly, and let me explain why. Learn by doing is the heart of a Cal Poly education. Your degree will appreciate over time. Our core philosophy has always been on a hands-on, active education, combining the very best teaching from amazing faculty with opportunities to put what you learn into practice. Learn by doing doesn't just mean going and finding an internship early in your career in your area, though of course internships are valuable and readily available. At Cal Poly, you don't just study engineering, you become an engineer day one. It means that political science students draft a bill, submit it to the state legislature through a local representative, lobby for it, and for the previous 2 years running, succeed in having it passed and signed into law. It means that students studying solar-powered vehicles build one and race it. It means that students studying aerospace engineering build, launch, and track satellites. It means that students interested in cattle or horses raise them, those interested in oranges grow them, those interested in wine make it, and those interested in tax regulations help people complete their returns, all right here on campus. Learn by doing isn't something that just happens on campus, in the class, or the lab. It is a way of life that students develop here and take with them wherever they go, on campus and off, in their homes, in their careers, and throughout the rest of their lives. The result of that experience is a graduate who is ready from day one to face whatever may come next. And if there was ever a time when the world needs people ready for anything, it's now. As recent events have shown, California is truly a leader, not just here in the US, but around the world. What happens here first eventually has an impact everywhere. And wherever you see cutting edge advances happening in California, you'll find Cal Poly graduates doing the work, leading the way, from public health and agriculture to technology and aerospace. Learn by doing is the key that makes our graduates uniquely prepared to make a difference here in California and around the world. But learn by doing isn't just for students. People become professors and university administrators because they love learning and being in a place where the learning never stops. When the university itself needs to learn something, we use the learn by doing method. I mentioned earlier that we are testing students for coronavirus using a saliva test. That test and all of the protocols around it were developed by our own faculty and staff. The lab processing the test is largely staffed by our students. That's learn by doing in action. There was a need, and despite the difficulties of the pandemic, our faculty engineered a best-in-class solution, put it to work here on campus, and involved students all through that process. Learn by doing works best when students really connect with their professors and mentors. We offer small classes and personal interactions with faculty on a campus of 22,000 students and an unusually wide range of majors and programs. For our classes scheduled for this fall, almost 90% of our classes are smaller than 40 students. It's the best of both worlds. We have the heart of a liberal arts college and the brawn of a research university. All these factors and more make Cal Poly an outstanding education at a great price for both in-state and out-of-state students. Cal Poly attracts the best and the brightest, and some of our main rivals for the best applicants are the University of California campuses. Whether you are a California resident or coming from outside the state, Cal Poly's tuition and fees and overall cost of attendance are significantly lower for you than those at any UC. We are also able to offer substantial financial aid packages and scholarships so that Cal Poly is increasingly affordable for high-achieving students from low-income families. This fall, we'll be adding almost 700 new Cal Poly scholars. We will have over 3,000 of these scholars in a few years. These scholars receive $5,000 scholarships per year for their time at Cal Poly. Cal Poly is for you. Cal Poly is for everyone. Cal Poly is for all of California. We try to keep costs low by raising funds from our donors, alumni, and other supporters. It's because of students like ours that we must continue getting better, continue investing in their futures, and continue maintaining Cal Poly's promise of Learn by Doing. As you take a virtual tour of campus, you'll see several examples of new buildings or projects under construction. Cal Poly alumni, donors, and parents at work. Parents and supporters, thank you for trusting us with your children's education and with their health and safety. I hope we have repaid the trust of current parents through our prudent, evidence-driven response to the coronavirus, and that our track record will help future parents feel secure in entrusting us in the future. Finally, we have amazing alumni. Pro Football Hall of Fame coach John Madden, world-renowned aviator featured in the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum, Burt Rutan, entertainer Weird Al Yankovic, and another out-of-this-world star, astronaut Victor Glover. We're fortunate today to have a clip from Victor.
Thank you, President Armstrong, for that great introduction. Over the last several years, my crewmates and I have worked with the NASA and SpaceX team to test new spacecraft systems which will provide transportation to the International Space Station, launching American and international partner astronauts from U.S. soil.
Please join Victor and engage in Learn by Doing at Cal Poly. Cal Poly prepares you for a lifetime of learning. You are ready day one. Learn by Doing was born here. It will thrive here forever. Thank you all so much for coming. Enjoy virtual open house. Good luck with your college decision. Come and see us, and I hope to see all of you face to face in the fall.
President Armstrong is with us today. Thank you so much for joining us, President.
Thank you, Samantha. It's great to be here. Welcome to everyone. Welcome and congratulations, prospective students, parents, and supporters. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us. And as you can see, we have amazing alumni, Victor Glover, who's up in the International Space Station now. Just wanted to, again, echo thank you for being with us. Congratulations. Cal Poly is an amazing place, and your degree will indeed appreciate over time. And students, prospective students, you too can help with all of these events, because almost everything we do at Cal Poly, it's for our students. And in the case of Open House, they are running it for us. So thank you, and go Mustangs.
Thank you, President Armstrong, for that warm welcome. Our next speaker is this year's ASI President, Shaina Lynch. She'll be speaking about what the ASI President does, as well as her personal journey.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cal Poly's Open House. My name is Shaina Lynch, pronouns she, her, hers, and I have the pleasure of serving as this year's Associated Students Incorporated, known as ASI, Student Body President. I'm ecstatic to have the opportunity today to talk to you all about Cal Poly and hopefully help you in this difficult decision. I'm currently enrolled as a fourth-year political science major with a minor in ethics, public policy, science, and technology, and I'm from San Jose, California. I will be graduating at the end of this quarter and have grown tremendously as a person during my time here. Last spring, I campaigned in our election on a platform that concentrated on 4 key issue areas: diversity, equity, and inclusion, health and well-being, sustainability, and empowering the student voice. It is through looking at how these topics are implemented throughout campus that I've worked to better the student experience. As ASI President, I serve as a corporate officer for ASI on our campus, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization with an operating budget of over $18 million. I'm constantly in meetings with various stakeholders both on and off campus, including University President Armstrong, Vice President for Student Affairs Keith Humphrey, CSU Chancellor Castro, San Luis Obispo Mayor Harmon, and even sometimes representatives in the California legislature. My position and so many other student positions on campus demonstrate how much student leadership is valued on campus and the opportunities students have to take on large leadership roles that prepare them for the workplace after graduation. Just within this year, I've worked with the other two ASI student officers to reallocate over $100,000 of the budget that was not being used due to the pandemic and give it to areas that now have a higher need, such as the food pantry and financial aid programs. I've also been able to create scholarships both for Dreamers and Indigenous students. I share this not to brag of accomplishments, but to show the impact each individual student can make on the Cal Poly campus. We are a community of Mustangs, all working to make Cal Poly the best place it can be. And I hope you all can join in with this exciting progress. As you are weighing your options of where to go, I wanted to share what really pulled me into Cal Poly. When I toured at Cal Poly pre-COVID, I remember seeing the smiling faces of students as I walked through campus and how there is just a sense of community. The Mustang community is so friendly and welcoming, where I had no fears to walk up to someone and ask for directions, even when I was a scared little first year. Everyone here wants to help you succeed, and that is what really drew me into the place I now call home. If that in itself is not making you set on Cal Poly, I want to share the top 10 things both on and off campus that Cal Poly offers. Number 1 on the list is the students who go here. Here at Cal Poly, our Mustangs live by the Mustang way of enacting love, empathy, and respect to all. I've been blown away by the way the campus community has come together, virtually of course, during COVID, to ensure our students still have the best experience possible. My fellow classmates are always willing to help each other and want to uplift other students rather than competing against them. So many of our students are leaders within the SLO community for change on a large scale level, whether that is chairing the city's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Task Force or spearheading a campus hackathon. All Mustangs have a drive, unlike others, that's set to the tune of unfaltering compassion. This truly makes being at Cal Poly a unique experience. The second item on the list is our Cal Poly Recreation Center, known as the Rec Center. Our state-of-the-art Rec Center is only 10 years old and is the perfect place to go between classes to work up a sweat. The Rec Center offers many programs, including ASI intramural sports with over 150 leagues and tournaments, fitness and personal training with over 300 classes in various discipline areas, a leisure pool, an Olympic-sized lap pool, scuba certification courses, and the pro shop, where you can go for equipment for any type of pickup game. The Rec Center admission is built into your fees, so any student is able to go and get active. Next, Cal Poly has an amazing assortment of clubs and organizations for students to join. There is an annual club showcase during orientation that features the over 350 Cal Poly clubs. Students can find clubs with all sorts of focuses, such as academics, activities, and cultural identities. I'm sure you will find a club for you. There's even a hummus club. There are excellent ways to meet people through clubs or try something new. You can browse all Cal Poly clubs in our directory on the Cal Poly ASI website. The next item is one that really draws a lot of people to this area, the beautiful beaches. San Luis Obispo is surrounded by beaches, and it is only about a 10-minute drive to the closest one. I personally go kayaking in Morro Bay almost every weekend, and I just take in the beautiful views. If you're a lover of surfing, you can rent surfboards and wetsuits from the on-campus Poly Escapes Rental Center and take them on your adventure. When the sun is out, which it normally is 95% of the year, you can be sure to find tons of students at the beach playing spike ball, hammocking, or even doing homework. Next, SLO's weather is perfect because not only does it work for going to the beach most of the year, but it is also great for going on the many hikes in our area, which is the 5th item on our list. There are so many mountains in SLO, and hiking is a very common activity. You can try the tri-tip challenge and hike the 3 main peaks, Madonna, Bishop, and the P, all in one day. There are many super easy hikes, such as hiking up to the Cal Poly P, which is only about a 20-minute walk to an area that you can see the whole campus from. Continuing on with fun experiences outside of the classroom, Cal Poly has some amazing events on campus. Whether it is a free concert in the University Union from JPEG Mafia, bringing in comedians like Hassan Minaj, Culture Fest, or surfboard shaping in the ASI Craft Center, you will always be able to find something to do. Next on our list is the ways Cal Poly will help you secure a career. They host quarterly career fairs where tons of companies come to meet with students. I've known tons of students who have secured internships, which turn into full-time jobs from just meeting a company at the career fair. You can always meet with a career counselor or go to a workshop that will guide you on how to build a standout resume and how to secure a job in the interview. Career Services also has a career closet where you can obtain professional clothing free of charge. Traveling back outdoors for the 8th item on our list, Cal Poly's campus has the most beautiful surrounding area. You have mountains on all sides that are entirely green and covered with flowers in the spring. My first year at Cal Poly, I could not get over the sunsets here, and I would go with my roommates to watch the sunset any chance we got. There is outdoor seating all around campus, so you can sit, study for classes, and gaze upon the beauty of the San Luis Obispo area. It honestly made me feel so much more calm during stressful points of the year. And the scenery is so beautiful, that's why it is very important on this list. The 9th item is the amazing programs of student diversity and belonging. I know there are probably many of you who are worried about finding people with similar identities to you. For some students, Cal Poly's demographics may be very different than they're used to, and it can at first feel very isolating. However, student diversity and belonging on campus does a phenomenal job of providing a safe and inclusive space for students of all identities. They manage many centers on campus, including but not limited to the Dream Center, Pride Center, Gender Equity Center, Multicultural Center, Black Academic Excellence Center, and there are even more to come. Student diversity and belonging are constantly putting on amazing programs that push students to explore their own identity. Student diversity and belonging is filled with students who are truly changing Cal Poly to be the place that is more inclusive of students of all identities. Finally, and I'm sure you will hear this plenty, but the top reason to choose Cal Poly is our philosophy of learn by doing. This pedagogy truly makes Cal Poly the amazing institution that it is. I remember coming in as a political science major. I was not sure if I would have a learn by doing experience, but I could not have been more wrong. Even just my position as ASI president has taught me more about political science than I would have imagined. In addition, I was able to take a class called California Bill Project. In this class, we wrote and passed a bill through the California legislature that was sponsored by Senator Monty. Thus, I can say I wrote a California law and did this all through a class. I was even able to go up to Sacramento and testify at the California Higher Education Assembly Committee meeting. This was an amazing experience, and I know students across all majors have loved the hands-on experience they've received at Cal Poly. On top of this, the professors' commitment to ensuring student success and growth through Learn by Doing has made me feel even more motivated as a student. Faculty on campus are committed to helping their students succeed and setting them up for success in the future. Through Learn by Doing, you can be sure that when you leave Cal Poly, instead of being ready one day in your career, you'll be ready day one. I hope these 10 items have helped you in your decision. Finally, I just want to share about how excited I am for the incoming class to experience Cal Poly. The university has done an amazing job responding to the pandemic. and in conversations with administrators about what next fall will look like. I'm very hopeful that you will all be able to return to having a sense of normalcy while still being safe. Of course, everything is based on directions of public health, but Cal Poly is doing the hard work to make sure students next year can experience all that Cal Poly has to offer in person. I'm confident that next year's students will be able to remain safe and healthy while still getting to enjoy the Cal Poly experience. Please feel free to email me at asipresident@calpoly.edu if you have any questions about Cal Poly. Thank you all for giving me your time today. Welcome to Cal Poly's open house.
I really appreciate Shaina for sharing about her Cal Poly experiences and encouragement for all of you, prospective students and supporters. Our next speaker is here with us today. Jim Perkle was a Cal Poly parent and is the chair for the President Advisory Council. Thank you for being here today, Jim.
Hello, everyone. Jim Perkle here. He, him, his are my pronouns. And I'm very excited to be able to talk to everybody here today and share my experience with Cal Poly. I'm the chair of the Parents Advisory Committee. If you want to learn more about us, just go to calpoly.edu, click on parents and click on stay involved. And you'll see some information about us. You can actually open the roster and look at the number of parents that are currently serving, get some background from us. Our email addresses are there if you want to contact us with specific questions. Please do so. I'm very lucky to have two Cal Poly alums. My son, Scott, class of 2014, graduated high school and then started at Cal Poly. He graduated with his bachelor's in aerospace engineering in 2019 and decided to use their master's program there. It's a blended program, which allowed him to stay at the same university and actually get his master's degree in just 1 year. Tough to do, but he was able. Fabulous program. It's offered throughout the college in multiple degrees. And he got his master's and graduated last year during COVID. Actually, he had to give his thesis presentation over a Zoom, which was pretty fascinating. We were actually able to tune into that and watch it with him. While he was at Cal Poly for his 5 years, actually with his master's, it took 6. He got minors in math, physics, and astronomy. He waited, unfortunately, to join one of the clubs, the Hyperloop Club, which he says in retrospect, he wish he would have gotten more involved with a club that was in his specific area of specialty. There's a lot of those throughout the different colleges, so that's something for your student to look into. But his other big passion was playing a club level sport. He played lacrosse for Cal Poly. Club level, different from NCAA level. Obviously, the school sponsors the trips and stuff. There's a lot of great club sports throughout Cal Poly in different programs. Both my kids actually played on the lacrosse programs there, which allowed them to go and play against Stanford and UCLA and Santa Barbara. I travel across California. And one of the unique things that we found, and sharing a story about that, in the year that he was considering coming here, he was playing high school lacrosse and went to Las Vegas for a big tournament that was there. Cal Poly was there. It's a preseason tournament, and he got a chance to see the players. But more importantly, what he got to see was between games, he saw the students under shaded areas with their laptops knocking out their homework. So it's a good balance of doing your studies and also being able to participate in other sports or clubs that you're passionate about. Excuse me. He worked off campus every year that he was there. Unfortunately, he never got an internship. I was one of those parents also that was pretty, hoping that, hey, get yourself an internship. That's what's going to get you a job. That's what's going to get you a job. And then fortunately, about 3 years in, I attended a Parents Family Weekend presentation by a student who said, hey, you parents get too wrapped up on these internships. And he looked on the panel that was about 6 kids that were up there and said, how many of you guys had internships while you were here? And only one of them did. The rest of the 5 said, none of us had internships, but we all landed great jobs. They were all alums who would come back to speak during Parent Family Weekend. He said, what's important is that just have a job during the summer so you have something to put on your resume to show that you're still staying active and still working and doing things. That's what you really need to be. He said, hey, I worked at Target all 3 years that summers that I was here at Cal Poly. because I was here during the summer. So I just got a job and put that on my resume. It just showed that, you know, I'm a responsible individual and can still hold a job. So don't get too wrapped up on the internship stuff. He did one summer while he was working locally there in SLO, also do some astrophysics research for one of the professors that he had. So that was possibly the closest thing that he had to an internship. He graduated last year, 2020, and using the resources that Cal Poly will provide you. And that's one of the key things. There are so many things there to help you. You just have to go out and ask for help and realize that when you ask for help, it's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength, and realizing that, hey, I want to be able to present here. Oh, hey, see, they popped my picture up of me. So that's myself. You can see my wife, Beth, my son, Scott, who graduated last June with his master's in aerospace engineer. And then my daughter, Jerry, she graduated also last year with her bachelor degree in experience industry management. She entered Cal Poly as a kinesiology major, and I'll share a little bit more about that in a minute. But while she was there, after just a quarter, she realized, you know, as much as I love this, I'm going to be too involved in academics, and I'm not sure if this is really for me, and I want to change majors. And you can change majors at Cal Poly, which is one of the big reasons that she decided she was going to go there. She's like, you know, I'm 17 years old. I'm applying to a university. They want me to pick my major right now. I can't go to Cal Poly because I don't know what I'm going to, if I'm picking the right major, and that stress was just too much for her. Fortunately, I had gone to SLO days. It was called something different back in 2014 when my out then that you can change majors. And Keith Humphreys made a great presentation to all of the parents and all of us who were sitting there, because we finally asked the question, hey, wait a minute, what's this whole thing about changing majors? I thought the kids had to have a major when they came in here. And he said something I thought was really profound, and that is, we want the students coming into Cal Poly to realize that you are coming to a fine institution first and foremost to get an education. That's why we want you here. So, but we also come here under the idea that I want to come in with this track, and this was what I want to study. Now, in that first year, there's a number of GEs that you'll also take while you get used to the college environment, and you're introduced to different subjects along the way. So if you want to change majors, you can. They have a nice process for it to make sure that you're not changing just because you got some bad professor and now you hate that whole academic track you were on. They've got a nice set system that you'll go through, doing a couple of interviews with where were you and where do you want to go to make sure that you're changing for the right reasons. My daughter was actually able to change her majors just in her second quarter there, and has loved being in experience industry management. She was supposed to graduate. She was also taking 5 years to graduate. That was something that we had worked out with our kids when they first went there, because as President Armstrong had already mentioned, the cost of the education at Cal Poly is, you get so much bang for your buck for how wonderful that university is, that it was going to cost us less to send them there for 5 years than it was going to cost to send to a UC for 4 years. So it's like, well, if you take enough 14 units per quarter, you maintain at least a 2.5 GPA, dad's on board here, and it'll also allow you to do so many other things that Cal Poly allows, like play club lacrosse or get involved with all the different clubs and programs that they have there. And my daughter stepped up after she got into experience industry management. She also played on the club lacrosse team for the girls there. She studied abroad in Australia in the fall of 2018, which was incredible. She got involved, the WOW program, which is the orientation program that your kids will be able to go to this fall, is one of the best in the nation, not just California, the nation. I've gone to the training programs that they've conducted. I've seen the kids in action. There are other universities, Miami, Virginia. I remember seeing two individuals that were from those schools at Cal Poly watching the program because they wanted to learn what they could to take it back to their universities, because the orientation program is so strong. My daughter loved it so much, she wanted to get involved and became a WOW leader for 2 years. And in a third year, she was actually training WOW leaders, which really got her involved with everything going on around the campus. She worked on campus while she was there, and she also worked off campus, never got an internship herself. Her freshman year, I like to call her the buffet girl. She just likes trying so many different things. And so she joined, I think, like 20 some different clubs. It was pretty amazing. But what was great about it, obviously it was too much for her because you don't have that much free time to do that many clubs. But she said, I attended like 2 meetings for each of the clubs that really got my interest to see what other people had signed up and see where I got a connection. And she wound up sticking with a couple of those clubs throughout her 4 years it was there because she found other people with similar interest. So there's lots of things that are open to your kids once they get there. One of the things and the questions that I want to make sure that I address is why my kids chose Cal Poly, because I know at this particular meeting here, this open house, unfortunately, we have to do this virtually. And you can't get to be in Cal Poly and feel the energy and the beauty of the city, the campus, and just be able to talk with a number of the students in person and just see how open they are about the university and how much they like it. But why did my kids choose Cal Poly? My son did because the learn by doing and you hit the ground running day one isn't just, something to advertise because they want to pull you in, and once you're there, you find out it's different. Cal Poly happened to be the first school that we went to and got a tour of. And then from there, we went to a number of the UCs up to Oregon, different schools, and all their engineering programs, the aerospace that my son wanted to get into, almost every single one of them is like, yeah, by year 3, you'll definitely be in labs and you'll be doing this and this. And my son would look at me and kind of wink because at Cal Poly, their tour had said, first quarter, first year, you're in labs. You hit the ground running. So, which is so important because it helps you realize, is this really what I want to be doing? If not, you have time to change your major or look into potentially doing that. Not just knocking out in huge 200 and 300 person auditoriums, all the GEs that they want to get out of the way and eventually getting to work in your major. You get to work in your major day one. So that was a huge point for him to be able to get in and be able to do that. For my daughter, her key reason and why she wanted to go to was once she found out she can change majors, she's like, okay, now that I know that I'm not locked into something, then I would like to go there and see what it's like and know that that opportunity is going to be available to me. And it's actually pretty common for people to look at and really take a serious look at their majors and decide, do I want to stay in here? Maybe I want to stay with engineering, but go from aerospace over to mechanical. If you stay within the same school, and there's 6 of them there, the business, College of Agricultural, Food and Environmental Science, College of Math and Science, Liberal Arts, different ones there. It's fairly simple to change within the schools, but you can change between colleges, as my daughter did. She changed from College of Math and Science, which is where kinesiology was, over to CAFES, and again, that everything in the process that they had was so well thought out and made it such a smooth transition for her. It made it easy for her to stay and continue to love Cal Poly. But her other big reason, which she was adverse a little bit to the idea of going to the same place that her brother was going to, was thinking that, well, I'm not so sure if I want to be where he is or do something unique on my own. So after she was accepted her senior year in high school, and people would ask, well, hey, where were you going to college at? Well, I've applied here and there, and I've been accepted at, and she would go through a list of names, and 9 out of 10 times, as soon as she said Cal Poly, they're like, oh, Cal Poly. Oh, that's fascinating. And I told her once after hearing this, like the 4th or 5th time being with her, I said, mix up. Don't say Cal Poly first sometimes. See if you mention it somewhere later in the list of schools that you've been accepted to and see what reaction. And she said she was amazed. Almost everybody, oh, you got into Cal Poly. Ah, okay. Well, that's wonderful. So she said after seeing their reaction to it, it made her step back and forget her brothers there and look on the fact that I got into here on my own. And the fact that your student has been accepted to Cal Poly is a huge testament to their ability. And I congratulate you all for that. And I'm very excited for you. If I could roll back the calendar 7 years and start this all over again, I would just love to be able to do it, especially with the knowledge that I have now that I wish I'd had back then. So once she found out that that's how industry and everybody was looking at it, it made it easy for her to accept to go there. And one of the things that sometimes I'm asked is, how has Cal Poly exceeded my expectations as a parent? And I'm a walking logo. I'm so proud that my kids are in there. You never find me. I got a visor on with Cal Poly, a t-shirt almost everywhere. I go, I've got something because I'm so proud of the university and the fact that my kids have gone there. And so I think I get approached by so many people who know Cal Poly, know the name, or get a shout out from somebody. But the thing that really made me feel great about my kids going there is multiple employers, without me even asking them, going, oh, we love Cal Poly grads. They hit the ground running. We get graduates from, and I won't say the names, but they'll walk in with their t-shirts on or wearing a pen so they can advertise that I went to this school. And it's like, that's great. We don't care where you went to, which is fabulous. What we need is for you to work, and we need you to hit the ground running day one with a can-do attitude, and you're here to work, not with a, oh, look at me and where I graduated from. Let's hit the ground running. And the employers love Cal Poly grads because they say they hit the ground running because we work on a quarter system there. I had a couple of employers tell me the thing that makes Cal Poly grads so great is the fact they're on a quarter program, which is tough, but it replicates what's happening in the real world. Corporations have to give quarterly returns and show how every 3 months, reporting to the public at large, this is how our company's doing and where we're at. So they're used to working on a quarter system. Well, that's exactly what the quarter system is at Cal Poly. You're used to working in that pace so that when you hit the ground and graduate, most projects, think about where you're at yourselves work on anywhere from like a 2, 3, 4 month program as things are constantly in motion and working. So it really does get you ready. Thank you for the time and allowing me to talk to you today. For those who want, on Sunday morning, there's going to be a parents panel that if you want to tune in there, you'll get to see me again. If you're tired of me by then, I'll try not to talk as much, but there'll be a number of other parents from the Parents Advisory Committee there to answer your questions. We'll introduce ourselves, talk a little bit about our students, and then there'll be a big Q&A for you to ask us live questions as much as we can respond to those. If I don't see you on that, hopefully you can make it this summer to one of the slow days. There's going to be some virtual, some in person. And if we don't see you there, I hope to see you either at Move In, because we'll be helping out with that, or definitely in October at the Parents and Family Weekend there. Again, congratulations on your students being accepted to Cal Poly. We're excited for you, and we hope that you can come and see SLO and make Cal Poly your home and be one of the Mustang family along with the rest of us.
Thank you so much, Jim, for speaking today. Your perspective is very unique, and I'm sure all the supporters with us today truly appreciate your input. Our next speaker is Alyssa Gonzalez, and I'm really excited to have her speak today. She has been involved with various Cal Poly organizations and will be speaking about her personal journey and growth throughout college.
All right. Hi, everybody, and welcome again to Virtual Open House. I'm so excited for you all to get to know Cal Poly a little bit more this weekend and see all the wonderful events and panels that this open house committee has been working very hard to put on. My name is Alyssa Gonzalez. I use she, her pronouns. I'm from Long Beach, California. I am a fourth-year psychology major graduating this quarter, also minoring in child development and event planning experience management. And I'm really excited for all of you to begin your time with Cal Poly this weekend. And whether you've been admitted and are super excited to get started, or you're a prospective student, I hope that you're able to find what you're looking for this weekend. And I want to talk to you all a little bit today about what it's like being like a more reserved, introverted leader, and some of the different components that I've had in my leadership roles here at Cal Poly, learning from the past, and how you can also implement those in your time at Cal Poly. So I think one of the things that sticks out especially is the importance of kindness and empathy, and how it'll pretty much come into anywhere and anything that you do here in SLO. So as I mentioned, I've had a few leadership roles in my life, including being a camp counselor, student council in high school. I've held different positions on my sports teams, and most recently, I was a board member for the Week of Welcome last year. And I think growing up, I had this idea that you kind of had to be this very super loud, outspoken, and like extroverted person to be a really great leader. And I'm very much not that kind of person. I'm more on the reserved side, and in larger spaces, I can get intimidated very easily by others. So oftentimes in those positions when I was in them, I felt that I was inadequate, or I would constantly second guess a lot of my actions. But over the last couple of years, and as I'm getting ready to graduate and reflect on my time at Cal Poly, I've learned that there is no one kind of leader. And you don't have to look or act any specific way to take part in leadership, especially here at Cal Poly, as this campus is full of so many different types of leaders and different leadership styles. And as I've come to learn this, I have been able to gain confidence in the kind of leader that I am and acknowledge the qualities that make me a great one. And yeah, as I've mentioned, Cal Poly, there's so many different clubs, organizations, jobs, different departments where you're able to hold those roles or be able to learn from people in those roles. So I wanted to share with you some of the core qualities that I have adopted into my own leadership style that I think have made an impact in what I've done, even without being that super out there loud person. Because again, anybody can be a leader in any kind of way that they excel in. So 3 main things that I like to keep in what I do is to lead with kindness, empathy, and resiliency. So I have chosen to lead with kindness because it costs absolutely nothing to be kind to others. I'm sure we've all had our experiences with high stress situations and frustrations, but I believe those are the moments that we should be showing the most grace and kindness. Some of the most influential leaders and role models that I've had are the ones who display that kindness. I had a mentor a few years ago that motivated me to adopt this into my core quality. So despite having an enormous responsibility workload, she kind of had it all on her plate. She took the time to get to know me when I first started and really helped me with my work and adapting and learning, especially with a job that kind of had a big learning curve. She showed me understanding when I struggled and encouragement when I succeeded. And those small interactions had a huge impact on me and made me want to continue to learn and grow in those abilities that I was developing. And it just was a very clear example to me on how that kindness can go a very long way, because this was years ago and I still think back to that very often. I also choose to lead with empathy because you never know what somebody is experiencing in their life. I think this last year has definitely shown us the importance of empathy, whether it's something big or small somebody may be experiencing. Everybody is a human being and deserves to be treated as so. And I think that in leadership roles, I kind of think to myself, what kind of a person I would want to be working with and learning from, whether I'm working with somebody that's higher up or I'm supervising, whatever it may be. I think that you should be working with compassion and that empathy. And I would want somebody to treat me in this opportunity the way we're all taught in kindergarten, to treat others the way you want to be treated. Lastly, I choose to lead with resiliency because you can overcome anything. And it may not always seem like that in the moment. Everyone has, especially with starting with college, everyone has their own journeys. And with that, there are speed bumps. Some are bigger than others, and it can get easy to be discouraged. Once again, this past year is a really great example of a time that we've had to overcome a lot. And I've had my fair share of speed bumps with the roles that I've held. And truthfully, sometimes it seemed like things were impossible to get done. However, they all do eventually pass. And I think that we can learn and grow from a lot of those. This last year, I definitely experienced a lot of curveballs in working specifically with my position with the Week of Welcome, which was my biggest leadership role, both personally and professionally. So I felt overwhelmed many times and thought that sometimes stepping down would be best for everybody. But I knew I had a lot of people that were looking up to me or relying on me for this commitment I had made. And so it kind of made it more difficult, a little bit more pressure. But, you know, luckily I was able to find some strength and support in my support systems and continue. And I'm very grateful that I did, because it was just another lesson in learning from experience. And we are the learn by doing school. So great opportunity to learn. And especially with all of you starting, whether it is your first time in college or being a transfer student and just going to a different environment for your higher education, having a support system will come in handy in many aspects of your time in Cal Poly. And this group can be your friends, your family, a mentor, a pet. I love my dog. He was a support system to me. It's really anybody who supports and motivates you. And you'll have times, a lot of times probably, in your time here that you need that support, whether it's your first quarter adjusting here, or maybe you got a bad grade on a test, or you're just missing home. With that support, you can overcome it. And I think that it really builds a lot of character in you. So no matter what the situation is, I think that us having resiliency and the strength to push through will always come through in the end. And as you all explore Cal Poly the rest of this weekend during open house, I hope that you choose to keep kindness, empathy, and resiliency. And hopefully that helps answer questions for you as you are looking if Cal Poly is a choice for you. And hopefully you get those answers that you are looking for. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend here and enjoy virtual open house.
Alyssa is a great example of the growth that Cal Poly encourages in its students, and I'm so glad that you are all able to hear from her today. Our last speakers are this year's open house co-chairs, Christina Silva and Marissa Velez. They have put a lot of time and effort into making open house possible, and I hope you enjoy this video that they made for you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marissa Velez, and I'm a fourth-year communication studies major with a minor in event planning experience management. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm from Redwood City, California.
And I'm Christina Silva. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm from Placerville, California. I graduated last quarter with a major in business administration, a concentration in financial management, and a minor in psychology. And we are your open house 2021 co-chairs.
Getting into Cal Poly is certainly not easy. So we just want to say how proud we are of each and every one of you and your accomplishments that led you to be here with us today.
As co-chairs, we want to personally congratulate you on your conditional acceptance to Cal Poly.
We know that each of you had different experiences in your life, but we want to assure you that here at Cal Poly, there's a place for everyone.
During open house, there will be plenty of opportunities to learn more about your college, department, campus organizations, and much more.
We hope that each of you attend as many sessions as you can so that you can learn everything there is to know about Cal Poly.
Cal Poly is an amazing place that allows students to grow as individuals while also applying what we learn in the classroom to real-world situations.
Everyone at Cal Poly wants you to succeed, and we are confident that should you choose to attend Cal Poly, you will have opportunities to learn more about your field of study, as well as who you are as a person and the impact you want to leave on this world.
Please take in as much information that you can while attending Cal Poly's open house. And remember, have fun.
Open house isn't just a time for us to talk to you about campus resources and what we have to offer, but it's also a place to meet other prospective students, supporters, current students, alumni, faculty, and community members.
Again, we are so proud of each and every one of you, and we hope you enjoy open house. And
Go
Mustang.
Mustang. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our university welcome. We appreciate you all tuning in. For this weekend, we have so many events and opportunities for you to join us. We highly suggest that you download the Cal Poly Now app on your smart device. And on that app, you can download the Cal Poly Open House 2021 guide. That guide has a list of comprehensive events and Zoom links and webinars for the entire weekend. In addition, make sure to scan that QR code and check out our link, calpoly.com, calpoly.edu/virtual open house 2021 to also see all the links and webinars for this weekend. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your week.
Hello, everyone. We are so excited to have you here, and I just wanted to give you a little insight into what's to come. So as you can see on the slide tonight, we have Friday Night Invite, which is from 6 to 8 p.m. And that's for admitted students to come. And basically it's where you can meet other admitted students, and we'll have our committee and other orientation members there to play all those games that you can see on that slide. So that'll be super exciting and a great way to meet other students. And then if we can go on to the next slide, I can show you. So this is our Saturday schedule. As you can see, to start off, we have our college welcomes. We highly recommend everyone goes to those. And they're actually separated by different colleges. So they're going to be, we're going to have 6 different ones. And then after that, we have our transfer center event, which is for our transfer students to get to know their journey. And then after in the evening, our alumni panel. This is a great place to go so you can see what to do with your degree and how other alumni have kind of continued on in this world after Cal Poly. And we look forward to seeing you all there. And thank you so much for coming to our university welcome.